So 5G core architecture part 4. So some of the other aspects which is left out I'll be covering in this. So just an network architecture to for the SMS service, then 5G LAN, how 5G network can be used as a corporate LAN, and then what are the different deployment options of 5G, and the CUPS architecture for 4G, how the CUPS architecture which was defined in release 15 becomes important for NSA deployment. Okay, so if you look at this picture, so there is a network function called SMS functions. So once you have that SMS function, uh, you can offer SMS services to your 5G customers the way we are accessing SMS service today. Although it has become very less popular, only used for OTP kind of services as of now. So SMS service will continue in 5G with a network function called SMS function, and that SMS functions is also part of the core, and the SMS service is again part of the signaling message itself. It is not carried on the data part of the traffic. It is signaling the way it is even in earlier technology. And the two architecture which you are seeing is, one is the reference point representation, another is the service based architecture concept. So this is again an important concept in 5G. We call it 5G LAN. Uh, this also came in release 16 only. So release 15 it was not there. So basically, when uh, one is trying to build a enterprise cloud office network, so in that case, if they have 5G coverage, which can be built, so what happens is that traffic is locally getting routed. So basically, what you see is uh, the anchor UPF, PDU session anchor UPF itself will have a local switch, and all the traffic within the enterprise is routed there itself. So it acts like a local LAN, local 5G LAN, which and all those points can be user equipment can be using that particular LAN. Uh, if the entire systems are within the same premises, if suppose there are more than one offices which is to be implemented, in that case, the two PSAs, the PDU session anchors, can be connected on the interface defined, which is N19, and then also you have a LAN kind of environment. So this is this is new. This was not there in 4G. So even the enterprise LAN can be built over a TSP 5G network. Now let us talk about various deployment options. I will seek attention of all of you that different deployment options defined by 3GPP. We will discuss one by one.
So may I ask a question, sir, about the earlier slide?
Yeah, please.
So for the corporate deployment that you showed, the core elements are there, sir, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There is no
I mean, yes.
because
These are not shown, but core network will be, everything will be there. The
yes,
traffic routing becomes within the enterprise.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
yeah. Okay, so let us look at various deployment options. So let me straight away go to this slide. Uh, so there are multiple options which are defined by 3GPP, right? So in the release 15 itself, they had uh, uh, a study paper about various options of deployment. So just look at this picture. This picture I have taken from one of the article of Ericsson. So there is option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4, option 5. There's no option 6, option 7. For each option, What will be the core network is defined. So here EPC is the core network in option 1 and 3. Option 2, 4 and 5. 5G core is the core network, and even option 7 it is the 5G core. Now on to the radio part. There can be 5G new radio, there can be LTE or enhanced LTE. So one of them will be kind of a master and other will be the secondary RAT, radio access technology. So in option 1 it is LTE. So it's nothing but a kind of a 4G network. When we say option 1 is nothing but a 4G network, which is a kind of a release 8 onwards LTE. Now let's look at option 3. In option 3 is nothing but same option 1, but here that means your core is EPC, master radio is LTE, but you are adding a new radio as a secondary RAN. So that means you have a 4G network, you are just adding new radio at some places as a secondary RAT. That means the traffic user plane and control plane will generally pass through the LTE and then to the core EPC. So, so this is, I mean, you can say that the release 15 in the initial releases, no, release 15 came into three parts, no. So initial part when it came into 2017, it was supporting this kind of connectivity. So this basically uh, E is E ultra, N is new radio, D is dual connectivity. So we call it ENDC. The option 3 is also called ENDC in 3GPP terminology, and here connectivity option is 3. Now what is option 2? Option 2 is nothing but a pure 5G network, or uh, we also call it standalone, right? So where core is 5G, radio is new radio, and there is no secondary RAT. So this becomes available from June 18 when the SA specifications were frozen by 3GPP and released. Now let us look at option 4. We will again discuss these options in a pictorial form, but try to understand. So here the core is 5G, radio, primary radio or master radio is new radio or G node B. The secondary RAT is enhanced LT. Why ELT? Because LT will get connected to 5G, the traffic through the 5G new radio. So it has to be enhanced, slightly enhanced. So we call it ELT, enhanced LT. And this connectivity is called NEDC in 3GPP terms. N is new radio, E is E ultra, and dual connectivity. DC is dual connectivity. So this is your option 4, and this is also becomes available from March 19. Then option 5 is that you have 5G core, but your radios are all ELT, enhanced LT. So this is an example wherein an operator just upgrade 5G core, I mean 4G core with 5G core, and the base station, LT base station, it enhances through a software upgrade. So this is option 5. And then you have option 7. Option 7 is that in option 5 we are adding a NR as a secondary RAT. So this is called NGENDC, right? So basically enhance LT, uh, NGE is your enhanced LT, new radio dual connectivity. Okay, so let us look at these pictures one by one here. In this picture, if you see uh, how this numbering will come. So this is we discussed this is option 1, wherein it is an LT network. E node B and EPC. Radio is E node B and core is EPC. If you just connect a new radio here, it becomes this below one, right? It is the same EPC. I'm just connecting a new radio as a secondary node. So it becomes option 3. So it becomes option 3. In this case, the traffic is passing through E node B itself, right? Now, let us look at this option 2. Option 2 is nothing but this was just a pure LTE. This is a pure 5G where radio is also 5G and core is also 5G. We also called SA, standalone deployment. And this is called option 2. Now, if you add a LTE base station onto this network, just add a LTE, a slightly enhanced version of LTE, we call it NG eNode B, then it becomes option 4. So if you just add LTE-BTS, that is NG eNode B, as a secondary node, it becomes option 4. So NG eNode B is a secondary node and traffic is passing through the new radio. Now the third standalone, these are all standalone, right, on the top part. The third standalone was that I have a 5G core and all BTSs are LT BTSs, enhanced LT BTSs or NGEN, right? So this is our option 5. If you just add now NRBTS as secondary one, the red one, NRBTS as a secondary one, it becomes option 7. So now out of all these options, operator have a choice to deploy, which option to deploy and which option to migrate. So somebody may choose that, okay, I have a 4G network, I will kind of do option 3, wherein I'll be just adding the new radio base station, and maybe wherein E node B, and maybe tomorrow I would slowly, once I have more number of E node B, G node Bs, then I can upgrade my EPC to 5GC and make this G node B as a master and remaining E node B after enhancing as a secondary. So maybe option 1, then option 3, then I move to option 4. So every operator can decide which option to start with and finally how I can become a SA mode. This, so everyone would be finally be reaching to this option 2 by deploying one mode after another mode. So let us look at these in a bit detail. So this is an option 1 where we have just a 4G network, right? We know about it. And then let us discuss option 2, which is again a kind of 5G standalone network, wherein once this is deployed in a standalone mode, we can offer all the 3 usage scenario: EMBB, MMTC, and URLLC. Now let's look at option 5. This is also a standalone wherein 5G core is there, but the radio is E node B. In this case also, we may not be able to offer all the use cases scenario because our radio is still 4G radio. So whatever limitations we have 4G BTSs we will have. Now comes the option 3. This is the most popular options. Most of the 5G deployment across world is option 3, wherein operators were already having 4G network and they started deploying G node B as a secondary node, and they were able to offer some kind of EMBB part of the 5G services. They will not be able to offer URLLC or MMTC kind of services because the master node is still E node B. So option 3 has got 2-3 flavors. The one flavor, the basic flavor is that this G node B, it's user plane and control plane, right? User plane and control plane is passing through E node B. So through the X2 interface to the core, right? So, and there are option, say called option 3A. So in this case, what happens is the user plane part, it can have a direct connectivity with EPC, but control plane is still being handled through the E node B. And then you also have an option called option 3X, where I mean both options are there. I mean this connectivity is also there and these two connectivity is also there. So combination of 3 and 3A is called option 3X. So operator can choose, and these are different capabilities which is to be built in the network to deploy either option 3 or option 3A or option 3X, and this is the most popular option being used as of now. So before discussing rest of the options, I would just break here for any question, because this is one of the important option which operators are choosing. So any question in this till now?
So, just breaking down these options. So, option three has the X2 interface.
Yeah,
And there is no S1U interface. So, if whenever GNP wants to talk to EPC, it has to first talk via the X2 interface to E node B, then to EPC.
yeah.
In 3A, there is no X2 interface, only S1U, right? So,
No,
there
no,
is no
it is there.
GNP
So
between.
that is no. It is there for user plane S1U can be directly, and for control it will use the X2 interface.
X2C, but not for the user. X2U will not be there in option 3A.
Yeah. 3A. And in 3X, I mean, it's a flexibility to use any of the options. Okay. Now let's go to option
Any
7.
pros and cons between these?
So basically, these all are, suppose if you want to have a S1U connectivity, that means the G node B, which G node B has to be enhanced so that it can support the S1U interface, the 4G interface, user plane interface. If this can be enhanced, then it can use. So it is an enhancement of the G node B itself. It's a software kind of. So depending upon what enhancement, so initial enhancement would be there, that on X2, uh, uh, I mean those uh, user plane and control plane can be passed the way they have defined. So but EPC has also to be compliant of release 15. If you look at release 15 specifications, there are certain enhancement in the EPC also, which I'll talk about to some extent little bit. But so depending upon what level of enhancement has been done, these 3 or 3A or 3X will be used. Okay, so now let's look at the option 7. So option 7 was what? That it is LT assisted option 7, in the sense that I have a 5G core, but master node is again enhanced LT or NGE node B, and the secondary is here also G node B, right? So it is a question like, it is like our Reliance Jio, if they just upgrade their core and keeping the LT BTS slightly enhanced as NG-ENB. So they becomes kind of a option 7, and they can introduce 5G. So depending upon what a operator is having and what way they want to go. So option 7 is simple again, through that X2 interface, or whatever we say it, control plane and user plane goes, and in option 7A you have a user plane interface directly with 5GC, and then in option 7X combination of these, similar to option 3. So these were various options of deployment which operator may choose. Now let us talk about CUPS architecture. And that means this 4G core, when they will start working on migrating to 5G core. So what important thing which they have to do is that they have to segregate control plane and user plane. So basically CUPS is control plane and user plane separation, right? So as you see in this picture that earlier our data plane in 4G is being handled by serving gateway and PDN gateway. So our data traffic from, sorry, our data traffic is flowing here from E node B to serving gateway to PDN gateway to PDN itself. So, but this serving gateway and PDN gateway are also having certain functionality, which is control plane functionality. So, this has to be broken into two parts. So, one serving gateway part, which will handle control plane, and other part, which will handle the user plane part. So, similarly, the PDN gateway will be also broken into two parts, the user plane part and control plane part. Important aspect here to note that up to 4G, many of the hardware which has been supplied to operators are kind of a purpose built hardware. So their hardware is fixed and software is fixed. So perhaps, I mean, these are to be deployed on a generic hardware. So some changes would be required, but definitely we have to segregate the control plane part and user plane parts. Once this is done, then these can be deployed on a virtualized infrastructure, NFB infrastructure. So all these control plane. So we are showing only the key network functions of 4G, but other network functions can also be shown along with, and the user plane part in the user plane side. So it becomes a kind of a now it can be kind of migrated towards 5G, and perhaps before an SMO deployment can be done, it is I mean normally OEMs will do this CUPS architecture. They will bring it to release 15 level of the LTE before they can actually deploy the NRBTSs. So so can be UPF, serving gateway. So both all network functions. So what will happen finally is that for some time when they have 4G and 5G network, the radio part common. So your core part may have the serving gateway and PDA gateway functionality along with your AMF and SMF. So the 5G core will connect to AMF SMF, where 4G radio will connect to serving gateway and PDN gateway for different functionality. So this way, kind of a migration strategy would be defined by each of the OEM, Nokia, Ericsson, and other who have supplied earlier the 4G network to the TSP. Rather, they already have such solutions available that their existing 4G core they can migrate to 5G. They already have a roadmap, and they have followed this CUPS architecture. So if you look at how this mapping would be there, so just look at this picture. Uh, so here if you see the EPC, you have MME, you have HSS, you have PCRF, you have serving gateway, you have PDN gateway. But after CUPS, you will break this PDN gateway and serving gateway in two parts, the control plane part and the user plane part. So after CUPS, this will look like this. And if you also have 5G network, so like MME, so mobility management functions, so equivalent network functions is the AMF part. It will also do some of the functionality of serving gateway and PDN gateway. So this MME was also doing session management. So SMF, if you look at SMF, so SMF is taking some of the functionality of MME, some of the functionality of serving gateway and PDN gateway, as you can see here. And the PCRF is now PCF, your HSS and AAA, etc. is now your kind of AUSF and UDM, right? Authentication server and UDM. So this is how is mapping of 4G and 5G. And in the user plane, if you look at, so here we have UPF, there you have serving gateway and PDN gateway. So this is the mapping. So let
So
us,
EPC is again exchange policy control or what?
which one?
EPC.
EPC is Evolved Packet Core. The core of
Okay.
4G is called EPC.
Okay.
So if you look at different network function of 4G and 5G, on this side we have 4G network functions, and this side we have a 5G. So AMF is similar to MME. SMF is kind of is taking some of the function of MME and PDN gateway. UPF is your serving gateway and PDN gateway. PCF is your PCRF. AUSF is like HSS, etc. UDM also. The new network function which has come. So application function was also there in 4G in the later releases. The new network functions are NEF, NRF, and NSSF. Okay. So I think we have talked about the two kind of architecture, reference point and also the service-based architectures. I'll just skip through. So now this particular portion is over, and I would request Bimla ji to kindly share the quiz 6 with everyone. And but I'll continue my session, and uh, I will